bringing you a little how-to on bleeding the Tekno NB 2.0 or EB 2.0 shocks with the Tekno Bladder. At DNC we switched over to the Bladder. It's been working really well. So I want to just show you guys how we bleed it. We're also using the Tekno emulsion style cap, the crank cap that the cars come with, but it actually works really well even when using the Bladder. So this is the front shock. I'm going to be putting some JTP 550 oil in it. I fill it up almost to the top, but not quite. Pump it to see if any air comes out. We're pretty good. I had one kind of big air bubble, so I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more oil. As you can see, it's not totally full. Now I'm gonna place the bladder on top. One thing you wanna make sure is that your bladder is totally dry and clean from oil, especially on this backside. So I just set it on there. If your shock has too much oil in, just the excess will kind of just run off the sides. That's no big deal. Now I'm going to put the cap on. One thing you want to make sure is you take the big O-ring out of the cap. You run the big O-ring inside the cap when you have emulsion. Then you take that O-ring out because this top of the bladder is going to seal. You want to make sure that you don't thread the cap on too far so that it's covering over the shock body, because then the oil won't be able to come out. So you can still kind of see that the bladder's there. It's kind of that gray color. So then this next step, pull the boot down so I can tell how much shaft I have coming out. So this first step's going to set the oil level in the shock. So I push the shaft up. Right about there is where we like it for the right amount of oil in the shock. Now I'm gonna twist the cap all the way down. As you can see, some oil's coming out. Make sure it's good and snug. Just wipe that down so it's clean. And this next step sets the rebound. So if you want the shock to be pretty dead, not really have any rebound, you could leave the shaft here. We've actually found that we like a little bit of rebound when running the Bladder. So I just pull the shaft down some. And then I grab the bleeder screw, put it in the cap. Tighten that down. Make sure my cap's good and tight. I use the Tekno shock tool and a Tekno wheel wrench. Always make sure your shock caps are really tight. And now you can pump the shock up and down. And our rebound should be set. Right back to pretty much where I had the length set when I put the set screw in. And now, put the boot back on. Give it another feel. Yep, feels really good. Has the rebound that I want, and that's how you bleed with a Tekno Bladder and the Tekno emulsion cap with the 2.0 shocks.